What's up, Leaf Nation? Welcome to Molson Canadian Leafs Game Day. I'm Scott Willats, riding solo today as my partner Danielle Emmanuel is on a special duty doing her blue and white week. And if you loved Austin Matthews' pictures with the puppies, you're absolutely going to love what Danielle Emmanuel is getting up to. We'll get down to Henny and Bob in just a second, but what can you say about these boys? I'm a little nervous that with Danielle Emmanuel missing, maybe our mojo might be off because we have been on fire lately. Winners of 7 of the last 8, 8-2-0 in the last 10 to be specific. The boys are absolutely going right now. Now on Saturday night, it was Marner's line leading the way. On Monday night, it was Matthews' line leading the way with Nylander scoring 2 goals, an absolutely unbelievable effort by them. But tonight we face off against the Columbus Blue Jackets, a team that we're going to be looking for revenge against. We all remember that game where we have 2-0 going into the third period with 5 minutes to go, only to lose 3-2 in overtime. That was really one of those moments where we looked ourselves in the mirror and said, this is not the team that we want to be, and we're far from where we want to be, especially when it comes to the playoffs. Since then, we've learned how to shut it down. Now, maybe when you're up 3-0 against the Tampa Bay Lightning, only to let up that lead and tie 3-3, that's not exactly where you want to be. But you got to give the Buds credit. They regained the lead, and then for the last 10 minutes, with a little line juggling, they shut it down. Now, for more on tonight's matchup, I throw it down to Henny and Bob.
Scott, thanks very much. Bob, big match here for the Maple Leafs tonight against a nemesis, a team they've not beaten dating back to January 9th, 2015. That said, they've garnered points in 15 of their last 19 games. They've won 8 of their last 9. Yep. How good is this Columbus team who are scrapping and scratching for a playoff spot?
Well, they've won back-to-back games for the first time since early January, and they find themselves here still on the outside looking in as far as a playoff spot is concerned in the Eastern Conference. So they've scored 10 goals in their last 2 games, and they've put 50-plus shots up on the board in each of the last 2 games also. And isn't it unbelievable how every time you have a midweek contest here at the Air Canada Centre when Columbus comes to town, they seem to just sort of slide in, slide out with 2 points in their back pocket. Let's hope that trend does not continue here tonight. And the Maple Leafs got to be ready when the puck drops here tonight, because Columbus is going to be a very hungry hockey club looking for a 3rd consecutive victory, because they know how tough it is to try and get themselves into a playoff position as they sit 1 point out of a wild card spot coming into this one.
Nikita Zaitsev, +8 in his 7 games since coming back from injury. Had missed 17 games due to a broken foot. I think if someone has benefited from that over the last few weeks, it's been the play of Jake Gardiner. How good has Jake been?
You know what? He's been tremendous. There's no question. And let's not forget 10 games absence by Morgan Rielly also. So I think that was, even more a factor for him to have to step his game up. And he's done just that. 15 points in his last 14 games. And he's really found the groove as far as jumping on the offensive side of things, but still being responsible defensively. And that's, I think the biggest factor in it is that you can count on him on that second pair along with Zaitsev now to help shut down the opposition's one of their top 2 lines. But yet, if you need to break out of your zone and be a catalyst on the offensive side of things, Jake Gardiner certainly take care of business that way, no doubt about that.
Well, we talked about Nikita +8 in his last 7. His partner Jake is +7 over his last 7 games, and as we've talked about, putting up a ton of points. At least numbers-wise, have improved in the second half of the season. Is that all part of getting into the process, the flow as a year moves along?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure what that's due to, but I think part of it is, the team playing better down the stretch, and guys getting more comfortable with each other and knowing the systems more and more. And even on the opposition side, it's more teams are organized, and you kind of know where everyone's going to be most of the time.
It's a long way to come back after missing 17 games. How's Nikita made out here as he continues to get into it? It's like another training camp for him.
Yeah, he came right into it. I mean, he was, I think that All-Star break helped him. He skated. The rest of us were on vacation and taking some time off to rest, and he worked his butt off, and it shows. He's been playing well.
It's fun. It's always fun getting out there and joking around with each other about different sports, and it was fun getting out there and shooting around for a little bit.
Who stood out as the worst, and maybe who stood out as the best?
Naz is probably the worst. He called himself the best, but I mean, when you call yourself the best the whole time and you start going out there and shooting air balls, and I mean all rim, it's doesn't really put a good perspective on it. But I mean, I don't know, the best. It's kind of hard. I mean, I don't think anyone's going too hard, but I mean, Matt's played basketball I think for a couple years in Arizona, so I mean, he was spinning under the hoop and stuff and putting guys in spin cycles. But I mean, obviously we don't want to hurt each other, so it's pretty funny.
Optional skate for the Maple Leafs here today. Head coach Mike Babcock, however, did indicate that the lineup will not change. Mitch Marner is on a tear. 8 points in his last 5 games, including 10 shots on goal in his last 2 games. And JVR has a goal in each of his last 3 games and game winners in each of his last 2. Starting goaltenders tonight, Frederik Andersen will get the call for Toronto. He has won his last 3 and is just 2 victories shy of his 3rd 30-win season in the National Hockey League. And Joonas Korpisalo will get the start on back-to-back nights. Sergei Bobrovsky might be 9-3 head-to-head against Toronto, but Korpisalo is a very impressive 4-1. Game time tonight, 7 o'clock on Sportsnet. The game can be heard on radio on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Our coverage here on Leafs Nation Network is set to begin at 6 with Molson Canadian Leafs Game Day. Looking forward to that. Paul, Bob, and Scott. We'll see you then.